everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Urmi, and in this channel I talk about finance, career, public speaking, and ways to invest in yourself. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe and make sure to hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any new videos that I post. So today I would like to talk about the difference between the CFA Level 1 and CFA Level 2 and how to basically tackle each one of them in terms of studying and time management. And there are really three main differences. So the first thing that I want to point out is the level of difficulty. So the CFA Level 1 program, I would say that it deals with like 10 or 11 topics. I don't remember now, like on top of my head, how many. But basically, all the topics that you deal with are topics that you have already dealt with if you come from a finance background. So level 1, I would say it's more about like a revision or a refresher of the things that you have done, because they deal with many topics, and it's basically everything that you have done in your undergraduate compressed in like 6 books. And I would say that if you do come from a finance background, level 1, when it comes to like dealing with the topics, level 1 shouldn't be so hard because you should already know all this stuff. And level 1, it's really about memorization and practicing as much as you can, just so that you get familiarized with the topics and remember everything. And level 2, I would say, is something else. As a lot of people say, it is difficult. It's mainly about valuations. Like, you are literally valuing all these companies, and you finally actually try to understand like why the stock price of a certain company is such. And level 2 is really, I would say, it's much more in depth when it comes to like learning the stuff. Like, it's not anymore about how to calculate this or how to calculate that, but it's really about how did we get into that calculation. It's a little bit much more in depth, and it requires a lot of understanding. Like, maybe level 1 you could skip one thing, or just memorize it or not memorize it. But with level 2 you cannot do that. You really have to really understand the material inside out, because I would say it's probably the foundation of what you need later on. And it just takes a different way to really tackle level 2. Like you really have to understand all these topics properly, because they're all like interconnected to each other, and there are some topics that are like a little bit easier versus some others which are a little bit more difficult. But every topic pretty much is dealing with valuation, like how do we value a bond, or how do we value an option, or how do we value a stock, and things like that. And so it's really about company valuations and really arriving to that number. So level 2, it's a little bit more difficult, and which brings me of course to my next point, which is the time management when it comes to studying for both of the exam. So for level 1, I would say that if you didn't have time and you only study for like 3 months for this exam, you probably are, you do have probably a good chance to pass it, depending of course on how you study it and how much hours you put. And probably 3 to 4 months are enough, because I've seen people who actually study level 1 in like 3 months, some even in 1 month, probably because they do have that background knowledge, so they did manage to pass the exam. But level 2 is not like that. Like, there is no way that you can go to an exam after a month of preparation or 3 months of preparation, because it's very difficult. So when it comes to really studying for level 2, it is highly recommended that you start studying for level 2 right after you get the result from level 1. I have seen this, like everyone that I know actually mentioned this, that you have to start studying for this as soon as possible, because it's not just going over some like readings and that's it, but it's really about understanding each topic properly. So you do really have to spend a lot of time understanding everything that you're dealing with. So it's very important that you do commit a lot of time. You put a lot of hours of preparation, and it can get draining, especially with level 2, because it just gets so difficult. Like I remember when I was doing all these problems, and there were some days where I was like, I don't understand these problems, I don't understand how they solve this, and so forth. But you know what? You just have to put all your efforts and just believe in yourself, and so that you can do well in the exam. And my last point is about basically what you should be practicing, not what you should be practicing, but how the exam is structured. So basically for level 1, as you are aware, you're just doing multiple choice questions. So each question is basically like, as you can see when you do like all those practice questions, basically each question is the question on its own. So you just have to like literally read the question and answer. But for level 2, you have vignettes, so you have like cases. So basically you have to read the cases, and then they will ask you the questions related to the cases. So if you're practicing, if you're like a level 2 candidate and you're practicing, you probably have noticed that all the questions are basically cases. So it's really important that you are basically reading the cases, the vignettes properly, highlight key points, and then you will see how these questions are like related to the cases. So each case, like each question will be related to the cases that you are that you have just read, and they will be all like connected to each other. So basically if you don't read the case and you're trying to answer, then you will probably like not, you probably did not get the right answer. So it's important that you read the case properly, highlight what the question is asking, and then answer the question. So that's all I have to say. Those are the 3 main differences that I can point out at this moment. One is about the difficulty, the other one is about time management, and the last one is about the actual exam structure and so forth. So I hope you like this video, and make sure to like and subscribe and comment, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.